Welcome to another Scalar 2 video. This is David. Today I want to go through making kind of an acoustic-y rock alternative track and look at Scalar to help me create all the harmony within the track. All from a chord progression that comes within Scalar. So usually we focus on things like the progression builder, the edit page, the modulation page, but this is really just a bare bones. Let's choose a chord progression from within Scalar. Let's assume we're new to Scalar, and let's look at some of the expressions to help us pad out and thicken the harmonic and melodic ideas for that track. One thing to note is I'm going to be using Scalar 2.4.1, so please ensure you've updated to it. There's a ton of new features. There were a ton of new features in 2.4 released recently, and 2.4.1, which has just come out in the last few days and available at Plugin Boutique, features all new performances. So we've got basic performances, chordal performances. We've also got lots of new phrases. So over 100 new expressions, basic phrases, chordals, and progressions. And they're all designed to go with the recent direction of having lots more common chord progressions and common styles, so they fit across all genres. One of the things that we get is a lot of our demos are either kind of slightly orchestral or electronic, so we're trying to focus on acoustic today. Having said that, I'm going to start by pulling up a one of the new rock chord sets in Scalar 2.4. That was. I'm going to pull up Rock 3, and I'm just going to bind this area. As I said, today's focus literally on playing these chords. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is try and get it sounding more acoustic-y. So rather than go for our internal felt piano, let's go for the guitar. Let's go the 6 strings, and let's choose the strumming profile. Alternate is good, and we'll go fast. Yeah, sounds a little bit more like a guitar. So you can hear this chord progression goes. Yep, cool. Sounds fairly acoustic-y already. I think I'm going to kind of focus on the A flat major, D flat major, A flat major, and the B major up here. Yeah, I like that kind of borrowed chord, if you like. And then I might go A flat, D flat, A flat, and then finish up on the E flat sus2. Okay, so I'm going to record that in. Back again, and now up to the B flat major. Up to the E flat sus2. Cool. So I'm going to grab those. There was a bit of latency I could hear there. I'm just going to quantize them. And what I'm going to do is, you can see that I've actually got a section A and a section B here. Now for this section B, I'm just effectively going to copy those first chords across, and going to get rid of that and just repeat that kind of up down process. Okay, so we'll get more of that later. So okay, great. Now, so you can see there that effectively by choosing Rock 3, Scalar's already told me that you're in the most likely the A flat mixolydian mode. Positive, bluesy, rocky, poppy. That sounds right. And I've got a borrowed chord. So already, without much theory, I know that I've got a fairly interesting chord progression, that it's not straightforward. There's quite a few extensions in those chords. There's a borrowed chord and there's a sus chord. So it sounds interesting already. So what I want Scalar to do is help me populate and make some melody and harmony from that. Now, I've gone to Arcade and I've pulled up just 2 patches in Arcade. I did this kind of after I did the track, but I just want to show you what I got. I've got a vocal from Arcade, and it's in A flat major, and I'm just playing only one note from it. And I've also pulled up a Nashville patch from their Nashville American guitar, and that's in A flat major. I'm only just playing one note. Let me just mute the scaler and show you what that's doing. Okay, so basically just repeats that. And there you can see straight away with my scalar chords on top of it, already I've harmonized that quite nicely. Cool. So as you can see here, I've got all these contact guitar patches and guitar rigs, and I'm going to ask Scalar to control them all. So I'm going to pull up Scalar. Now, I could have just loaded them all and synced them, but just to show you right from scratch, I can basically come in and go songs. We were using Rock 3, and I can effectively just bind that area. So now I've got those chords available to everyone, and I can just literally copy this scalar control straight across to all the channels. So now we're ready to go. And I could effectively just copy those trigger chords down over to these new channels and just keep carrying on, which is effectively what I'm going to do. So what I'll do is I'm going to solo this one here, and I'm going to solo my initial patch. So there's my initial patch, my initial chords. Now I'm going to start asking Scalar to start harmonizing those original chord patches. So here we are, solo. I'm going to pull up phrases. And if you recall, phrases are just a way a musician would interpret the chord that we're triggering or playing, which is exactly what these new phrases are. They're just more basic, less orchestral, less busy. So cool, let's pull up phrases, one of the new ones in 2.4.1, basic 2. And what I'm going to do is I just want this played an octave. I want these played an octave above. You can see that's a little bit fast. So I'm going to effectively ask it to play at halftime. And I'm going to group the notes dynamically a little bit better. And that kind of adds that bass note, which for me is not quite right. So I'm going to use open voicing. So if we have a quick listen to that. Yep, cool. I don't want the chords played. I just want just the kind of melodic element. So I'm actually going to come into expressions, and in the phrases, I'm going to say, I don't want the chord and melody. I just want the melody. Yeah, really nice. Much better. Yeah, cool. So let's have a listen to how that sounds with it. Yeah, I might even go an octave higher, actually. Cool. Okay, now I'm going to open up this other scalar. You can see what I actually want to do is I want to kind of do a call and answer. So you can see in that first scalar, I'm going to say get rid of that first note and allow the second part here to play that response. So you can see here one kind of a call and answer, if you like. So I'm going to pull up this third scalar. And you can see it's got those chord sets, Rock 3 there. And I'm going to go straight into performances, and this time I'm going to choose a basic performance. I might just stick with basic performance 1. Now, performances, remember, they are just the chord that you're playing, no extensions, unlike phrases, which has a bit more of a melodic content. Okay, let me just solo that and have a listen to that. Yep, cool. Okay, that's good. You can see there I've got it responding. So the first just pull it up so you can see what's going on here. So this is playing this one here, basic 2, and it's responding with basic performance. Back up to basic 2. Cool. Let's have a listen with the chords. Cool. And already I know that that's going to work well with the arcade stuff. You can see that nice harmonic movement up to the B flat major. And it's really cool because I wouldn't have used that B flat major if I had stuck to a normal scale. So that really kind of, even though arcade says you're in A flat major, well, we are, but we're also using a borrowed chord. It just so happens that the notes work with that. Great. I'm going to mute the arcade back, and I'm going to come in and we're going to create a melody. So I'm going to solo this section here. I'm going to open up scalar, and this one's pretty simple. I'm going to just basically turn on chord lock, and I'm going to say only play the chord note. So it's going to respond to the actual trigger notes. Now the first thing I'm going to do with this scalar here is I'm going to say, even though it's responding to those trigger chords, so it's going to lock the notes that I play on my keyboard to these chords, I'm going to ask it not to actually play the chords. So we're going to keys lock, and the chords are unmuted, but I'm going to mute them. So now if I hit play, it will not play the chords. Now, because I want this melody to be quite high, I'm actually going to come up here and say, let's go 2 octaves up. That effectively means that when I trigger, I should be able to play any combination of these notes, and it'll lock it to the chord. See, as the chord moves, so does my, you could see I could do it this way. I could say, okay, there's my A flat major. There's my D flat major, back to my A flat major. And now I could go up to the B flat major. Again. First chord, second chord. Back to the first chord. This time I might go up to my E flat sus2. Yeah, so it's a really cool way to come up with a melody lock to those chords. So I could effectively just unmute that, and we could play along, and I could record some things. I actually want it to respond to these chords up here. Okay, so all right, so let's get scalar, and it's going to respond to those chords, trigger those chords, mute them, and allow me to lock in any notes that I'm playing. So I'm just going to follow that pattern. Okay, here we go. Now you'll see it go up. Back down. Now it's going to go up to the B flat major. Now I might do the same thing, but okay, I'm just going to quickly clean up those notes. I'm going to grab them all, quantize them, and just going to clean up these last notes. You can see it triggering to the chord. I might just glue them all together. There you go. So the chord triggers are down there. That just slightly early. Let's see how we go. Okay, so now we've basically got the melody that I recorded responding to the actual chords. plus the original chords from Scalar and the basic phrase and the basic performance, creating all the content. Nice lift up into the B flat major. And here we go to the E flat sus2. That little melodic element I just added, coming back down. Right back down to the A flat major to end. Cool. Okay, let's add a couple more parts. Now we are going to need a bass line. So here I've got a contact patch and I've got the scalar patch. So now that's, if we pull those trigger notes across, you can see it's just triggering the chord of A flat major, which is really not great on a bass patch. So what we're going to ask Scalar to do is interpret those chords as a bass line. So we're going to come into the basses, and we're going to just go straight to basic common bass line introduced in 2.4 and just go basic 6. So again, all this material all new in 2.4 and 2.4.1. So okay, I might turn voice grouping on just to keep it all together, and you can see now it's probably playing in too low of the range. Yeah, it's kind of playing down here. So I'm going to come back to Scalar. And I'm going to pull up and I'm going to say perform that, but let's do it an octave above. So that should play it right in that range of that contact instrument. Yep, great. Playing the D flat major, back to the A flat major. Now should go up to the B flat major, to the B major. And back to that A flat major, and now it should end up in the yeah, cool. And that should actually make the song make more sense now that it's got a kind of a bass line to it. I'll just mute the arcade stuff. So now it's just Scalar. Just quickly, I've got a second bass patch here. This one's just analog strings, keeping it in the kind of acoustic flavor. So we're going to just copy that bass line down and just give that bass a bit more weight. This has got a string patch with a cello bass in there. Cool, okay. Finally, I've got, just to add a little bit more flavor, I've got Scalar about to control some patterns in electric sunburst. Okay, so this should be fairly straightforward. Let's have a quick listen. I'm just putting an octave up. Would do with some trigger notes. So let's put the trigger notes here and here. So we've got 2 we're going to load. Yep, great. So that's just Contact's Electric Sunburst playing kind of the Rock School muted patch. And down below I have the Rock School muted patch, a variation of it. And if we solo that, I've just, again, I just copied those trigger notes across. Let's just make sure that's an octave up. Should be. No, it's not. Okay, this will sound more like it. Here we go. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so just using those patterns from Electric Sunburst on top of all the stuff, and you can see harmonically now we've kind of got everything we need. If I kind of let go of all of that stuff there, and we use the vocal. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pad out this section B. What I might do is I might just actually just copy these guys across and just have them going continuously. Same for the bass line, really. And yeah, so let's have a listen with the OK patch. Yeah, I might come back here and just keep it on the, just for that phrase. Whoopsie. Yeah, I might just keep it on that one chord. Same here. Okay, so basically, effectively, just to give it, again, a bit of variation, the basic phrase 2, I'll just pull it up so you can see it, and the performance phrase will stay on the one chord for the end, but the actual melody will go up and down, as will the actual original chords. So again, nice way to kind of harmonize. Up here you've got it going up and down, here you're just going to have it going straight. Let's have a listen to what that sounds like. Yeah, works well countering off each other. Let's have a listen to the whole thing so far with the vocals, and I've just got basically just programmed some beats in Logic's drummer. So let's have a listen to what that whole section would sound like, section A and section B. Okay, cool. So you can see I've got that kind of little section A and B. Now, what I'm going to do, I want to demonstrate my excellent vocal ability and me singing on top. So let's have a listen to here. Doesn't matter, doesn't matter, doesn't matter what I sing to you. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to feed those vocals. I'm going to mute them and I'm going to feed them into vocal synth and use vocal synth to tune them. Much like a vocoder. In fact, I've got a vocoder and polyvox. What I need is some chords to trigger. Well, it just so happens that scalar here is I already have chords. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to MIDI capture the very top scalar, which is actually triggering all the chords, and I'm going to get those chords there, hit MIDI capture, hit play. And that's effectively going to go through that whole chord progression and give me all the chords that I need. And the section B. Which effectively just only rotates around the A flat major and the D flat major, the first two chords, ending back up on the root chord of the A flat major. Okay, so great. So I'm going to drag those chords straight down here onto my vocal synth channel. And now they should, I'm just going to clear this, close that scalar, and I would hope that now it's actually going to pitch my vocals. Doesn't matter. Oops, sorry, I'll just mute the originals. Doesn't matter, doesn't matter, doesn't matter what I sing to you. Yeah, so you can see. Doesn't matter, doesn't matter, doesn't matter what I sing to you. So again, it's enabling me pretty much to harmonize that vocal. So what I might do is I might say this to Scalar. Let's just actually get rid of the doesn't matter. So only trigger the what I sing to you part, if you like. So it should affect. Oopsie, it's down here. Get rid of those notes too. So now it should just play those chords in my chord progression over my vocal in the sing to you parts. Yeah. So if I was to play just the arcade and my vocals. And you can see when the chord goes up. Yeah, so again, really nice harmony created by the chords of Scalar. And up into that B major. Yeah, cool. Okay, great. So Scalar's helped me effectively just create everything. Let's have one final listen. And let's kind of recap on what we did. We started off with the original chords. We went to Rock 3. We used the internal 6-string instrument. Everything's running through Guitar Rig to give it that kind of crunchy acoustic sound. We then added a bunch of scalars across here to control all these contact instruments, which were just variations. There was picked acoustic there. On the second track, there was electric sunburst deluxe, if you wanted to replicate it yourself. On the third track, there was electric sunburst deluxe. Now remember, it's the melody of those patches, because I want Scalar to do the phrases and the performances. Here I've got Scarby pre-bass amped, and finally I just had an actual performance from Electric Sunburst Deluxe. That with the drums, with the vocal and that little guitar sample from Arcade, and my vocals through a vocal synth, using the chords, the Scalar chords that we came up with. Let's have a listen to a whole lot. Cool. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you very much for supporting Scalar 2.